Hi, I'm Donnie.
And I'm Lena, his mom.
And this is
What If? This is a channel where we talked about life, different perspectives, and the everyday challenges people face.
And every episode starts with one simple question. What if?
We created this space because we enjoy having real conversations about life, family, misunderstanding, and how people see the world differently.
I'm also autistic. And sometimes people have questions about autism, but they don't always ask.
So we thought, why not talk about it openly?
And maybe help people understand each other a little better.
Today's question is...
What if you can ask an autistic person anything?
So, of course, we are going to start today with Daniel.
Hello.
Daniel, if someone asks you what autism feels like for you, what would you say?
I will say it's a different perspective on life. You see, sometimes my brain processes things very differently from others. And I focus on the things that I enjoy the most very deeply. In some situations, it can feel very overwhelmed, but everyone experiences autism very differently.
What do you think people misunderstand the most about autism?
One big thing, I believe, that they treat autism as a disease. Well, good thing it's not, because a disease affects your body harmful ways. And autism is simply a different way that your brain works. Another thing is that autistic people don't understand emotions, but that's not true. Sometimes we just express or process emotions differently. As for me, sometimes I just need more time to process certain situations, but that doesn't mean that I don't understand what's happening around me, because every autistic person is different.
So, what helps you when things are overwhelming?
Usually the things that help me is the things I enjoy the most. For example, like some quiet time, or a place without noise and distractions that can help me calm down and reset.
Since this is our first episode, why don't you tell people a little bit more about you? So, Daniel. Hello. Who are you?
Well, to me, I'm just Daniel. But I like to think that I have an interesting life. I'm still young, I'm still figuring things out, but I want to show people that someone like me with autism can still make a difference at school, with friends, in the community, and everyone else, you know? And I just want to help people to understand that we can still be ourselves and still be human like everyone else. Sometimes people might misunderstand people like me, but I want to help to change that.
What was your life when you were younger? Were you a happy kid?
Yes, I was a very happy child. I enjoy life about literally the things that were around me. But as I grew older, my awareness changed. I started to notice things very differently. And some experiences were new to me. But like everyone else, I kept moving forward, just with a different perspective though.
Do you remember when you started speaking clearly? Or do you remember actually that you started speaking when you were about 3 or 4 years old?
Not really. I mostly remember the stories that you and Dad told me later on when I was older. That speaking clearly was a difficult part for me when I was younger. But over time, I improved it. But it was a long road.
How was your early experience at school, like in elementary school?
Well, school was very interesting. That was the first time I experienced learning new things like letters, numbers, math, and reading. It helped me grow and discover what I could do. I didn't have many friends at that point. I was more quiet and introverted. But at the time, it didn't really bother me. I had one friend at least, and I felt like that was enough.
Were there any teachers who helped you a lot while you were at school?
There were a couple, actually. And there's one teacher that helped me a lot within my learning. Her name was Miss Wickham. She was very kind and supportive. Another one was Miss Fagan. She had a great personality, and she was very welcoming. She even brought her dogs at one point sometimes, and that actually was the first time I ever interacted with dogs. I thought they were amazing because that's how I realized that I was a dog person.
That's so great. Okay, so When you moved from elementary to middle school, what changed?
I will say the biggest thing that changed was there was a lot of students from different schools. The environment grew bigger, and all these students had different backgrounds and different education level, but somewhere in a similar way. So I thought the elementary school that I went to was the only one around. But then I realized that there were others. It felt exciting, but also overwhelming at the same time.
That's where you also experienced bullying for the first time, right?
Yes, unfortunately. That was the first time I realized that people can pick on you because you're different. Sometimes the students that saw me different, and also they saw me thought that I was weak. So I eventually decided to learn how to defend myself. So I started taking self-defense classes like Krav Maga. It helped me build my confidence in my own strength. There was an incident that happened with another student, which I won't say his name, but let's just say it ended up in a very physical confrontation. And that taught me two important things in life. That one, I learned how to stand up for myself to believe what was right for me. And second thing is that violence is not always the answer. Problems should be solved with communication whenever possible.
As parents, we know there is a chance that Daniel was going to be targeted because he was different. So we decided to enroll him in self-defense classes. It is not something parents want to do, but sometimes you want your child to feel prepared. And when that situation happened, Daniel used those skills to protect himself, not to attack someone, just to stay safe. And we were very proud on how he handled it. So, congrats, Danny.
Thank you, Mom.
So how was your high school experience?
Oh, it was very exciting. High school was awesome. I started to volunteer on different places to try new things. And I wanted to help out with the community every way possible. And that led to potentially find my first job opportunity. But when COVID-19 happened, when the world shut down, everything changed. And my education turned to online. Virtual learning could help me to continue my education. But unfortunately, sitting down in front of a screen for 6 hours was very different. And I wanted to do things in the real world. I'm sure my brothers would have said the same thing about virtual learning.
Where there's been a moment when someone misunderstood you because you were autistic?
Yes. I had a close friend for a while. She was okay. We spent time together, cooked together, exercised, and went on walks. But when things changed, when school was back in session in person, she started to hang out with different people. And eventually she stopped wanting to be seen with me. And it took me a while to realize what was happening. But it taught me an important lesson. That sometimes people choose popularity over friendship. And when that happens, it's okay to move on. At first, I felt hurt, but also I've learned something valuable. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life. And that experience helped me understand who I can trust.
One thing I have learned as Daniel's mom is that listening is incredibly important. Sometimes people just want to be understood.
And people may be different, but that doesn't mean something is wrong.
Different perspectives actually help us understand the world better. And that's what this channel is about.
Talking about life.
Talking about different perspectives.
And just having honest conversations.
Sometimes the conversations will be serious.
Sometimes they'll be funny.
And sometimes
they might be a little chaotic.
But that's real life.
And we want to hear it from you guys.
So if you have questions you would like us to talk about,
please tell us. To share your what if question in the comments down below. So, my answer to today's what if question is that people should try to understand each other before judging them.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you on the next What If. And also, if you like this channel, make sure you subscribe to this and make sure you leave a like button as well. If you'd like to hear from more future videos about us or share your what if question in the comments, please feel free to ring that notification bell. See ya.